Guys, all the cars that you see in these videos are for sale on my website, www.woodsandbarclay.com. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to the series on the 1985 Cabernet Red Wagon. Now this is part 3 in the video series. Today I'm going to get it up on the lift. We're going to go through, do the initial inspection. I'm going to pick out the parts I want to order, and I'm going to get started on the undercarriage. You know, front suspension, rear suspension, brakes, everything under the car. So let's go ahead and get it up in the air. So I actually stopped it like waist height. I just wanted to show you guys the interior before I get it up on the lift, because keep in mind, Scott has already detailed this vehicle, and I just wanted to show off the interior because it's absolutely beautiful. And the Cabernet Red paint is so beautiful. Now we're actually going to do some work on the interior, but like mechanical items, but as far as the overall condition, you can see there's the original license plate down there. But as far as the original, look at that dash. Absolutely beautiful. And all the wood. We'll do little stuff like replace the button. See where the button has a little wear on it right there. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of show that off to you guys before we actually get it up on the lift. All right, guys, I've got the lift at about eye level. And we'll start the inspection. First, I want to go around and, well, of course, I put on these original bunt wheels. You can see that's the original paint. These have not been refinished. However, I do want to order some new center caps. We can see that center cap, you know, it has a little scuff mark on it. And you can get these from Mercedes. They're, I think they're like 15 bucks each or something like that. So we're going to order all new center caps. If I come up here, I can see it's extremely clean. Yeah, we even have the zinc plating still on the upper control arm bushings, these little retaining plates that hold those in. The upper control arm looks to be in fantastic condition. The boot is great. If I go up here, yeah, I mean, you can see the bushings. Those are fantastic. I don't know, this could have been changed. That kind of looks too good. Anyway, these shocks, I think these are original shocks, yeah. So we'll go ahead and swap out these shocks. We'll put some new Bilsteins in here. Back here you can see, man, look at that. That's as good as it gets. That is a West Coast car. See how clean that jack point or that jack hole is? There's absolutely no corrosion or anything around there. Beautiful condition. The gray primer that Mercedes would spray on is still all along the rocker panels. This lower trim here, absolutely beautiful condition. It's not all beat up from you know, road debris or anything hitting it from the road. Just awesome condition. Let's go ahead and walk back here. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. You couldn't ask for a nicer jack point right here. Often those will get rust on these cars, and that's absolutely beautiful. See a little bitty scratch right there. I'll probably hit that with some touch-up paint. But it's about all I've seen on here. This is beautiful original paint. Again, original bunt. I'm going to replace the center cap. And we'll take all these wheels off and inspect the brakes here in a minute. Yeah, just beautiful. All the original paint is up in there. Outstanding condition. All right, let's go around here. Look at the rear bumper. Yeah, just fantastic condition. Sorry, I've still got my plate on there. Let me take that off. Yeah, that's all beautiful condition. No cracks in any of the original tail lights. Yeah, all the rubber up here is just fantastic. Chrome is excellent. We're going to go under the car in a minute. I'm just kind of doing the initial inspection. Looking up here. Yeah, it's a little dirty right there. We missed a spot when we were cleaning, but yeah, incredible. That's all the original paint. No rust or anything up in here. Absolutely beautiful. Those are, again, original bunts. See, I'm going to replace these center caps. Not a big deal. Jack points are good. All the molding and trim pieces are fantastic condition. Let's go look up here at the front. And that may be an original brake hose. We'll look at that more later. Again, this upper control arm is incredible condition. That boot and the bushings up here, I think these may have been changed out at some point. Yeah, they just look too good. So I doubt we're going to need to replace those. Again, that's the original shock. So we will put some new shocks in here. And again, original bunt wheel, beautiful. I'll put a new center cap on here. Anyway, let's also, I like to look underneath here. Yeah, so that's a common place for rust, that seam right there. We can see this is absolutely beautiful. And it's never been painted because we still see that gray primer line that Mercedes would paint under the cars. Yeah, and that's still here. When guys paint cars, that gets painted over. And that seam right there, not a speck of rust. So anyway, let me go ahead, get it all the way up on the lift, and let's take a look at the undercarriage. All right, so first thing I look at when I go under here, that's always a great sign. So you see the zinc plating is still on the original AC manifold lines. I mean, guys, that should have worn off long ago. And a lot of these West Coast cars, the environment was so good that this plating is still intact. I do see that's an older original Harrison compressor. So I definitely want to change the AC compressor. I can see it's a little oily up here. It's probably been leaking a little bit. So we're going to change that. If we go over here, oh, I can see someone has already changed the ball joints. On the original cars, the ball joints had a black boot, and it's often all ripped up and deteriorated. I can see these ball joints have been replaced. That is the original brake. And yep, that's the original brake hose. And guys, that's 40 years old. So even though it's working right now, there's no telling when an original 40-year-old caliper will start leaking. So we're going to put all new brake calipers and hoses. Again, that's the original shock right there. Yeah, that tie rod may have been replaced. That's still tight. I do see this is a new steering stabilizer shock because it says Bilstein, and usually Stabilis or Stabilis was what the branded Mercedes branded one was. Bilstein are a little nicer. So yeah, that's already been replaced with a Bilstein. Oh yeah, that center link, this has already been replaced too. Yeah, so someone's done some front end suspension work already on this car. Look how clean this is. Very nice. Normally, that's a spot where you can get some oil leaks between the the oil filter housing and the engine block. And we can see that it's bone dry up in here. Yeah, that engine mount is a little worn out. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to change that engine mount. Let's look over here. Yeah, you can see how it's flattened down just a little bit, guys. Yeah, so we're going to throw some new engine mounts in there. I'll order some of those from the Classic Center. And I'll have to further inspect these tie rods. Yeah, someone's already changed that tie rod. Yeah, it's too tight, and that's definitely been changed. Again, we want to get rid of these old brakes and hoses, and there's the old shock in there, the old original shock. It's probably still working, but you know, it's 40 years old. Let's go ahead and change it. And yeah, I can see this ball joint already been changed over here. That's fantastic. Let's look at the lower control arm bushings. Oh yeah, it's time to change these. So I see they did a little work out here and on the tie rods. That stuff has been replaced, but this bushing, see how the bushing is kind of deteriorating right here? See that? So it's time to go ahead and change these lower control arm bushings. Those are still the original. Let me look at this one over here. Wow, it looks really nice up in here. Look how clean it is in here. That's the engine shock. These stabilize when you crank or shut down the engine. These keep it from kicking so much because the diesel engine. Those are beautiful condition. These bushings are beautiful condition. There's no oil or anything leaking from the turbo drainback seal. That's in beautiful condition. This, actually, this bushing over here doesn't really look, yeah, this one is excellent conditions. But guys, we'll go ahead and just change both of them because, yeah, this one shows a little bit more wear. See the cracking right here. So if we're going to do one side, we're going to do the other side. I'll go ahead and change those two. Let's move to the back of the car. First thing I noticed, and I love this about West Coast cars, the exhausts on West Coast cars are always so awesome. You can see there's just a little surface rust, but look how nice the condition of this is. East Coast cars, they're always a little crustier, and this is just a beautiful condition original exhaust. And let's go ahead and look up here. Yeah, the transmission mount is fine. Yeah, that flex disc, look at that. That is beautiful condition. Let me check, where is it? There we go, shifter bushings. Oh yeah, somebody's already changed the shifter bushings. So it's obvious this car was being maintained. See that shifter bushing there? That's been replaced. Let me look at the one up here. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see in there. Oh, there it is. See if I can jiggle it. Oh yeah, there it is up top there. That's already been changed. That's beautiful condition. That's your speedometer cable. Insulation is still on here. Let's check these control rod bushings. I doubt these have been changed. Let me get something to pry that back. Let's see here. There we go. I like to look underneath these protective covers. Oh yeah, so see all the grease has started to seep out? There's a boot that deteriorates. You can see that boot is deteriorated. So we're gonna pop in some new control rod bushings. A common symptom when these need to be replaced, when you go over like a speed bump, you'll get a clunking sound, you know, clunk, clunk. And that's from this being worn out. And they're still good right now, but they're probably on their last leg. Yeah. Yeah, see that boot is all deteriorated and the grease is all kind of coming out. So it's time to go ahead and change those. Let me put this tool back down here. And let's go to the back of the car. And let's see. Maybe if I open this garage door, it'll get a little brighter in here. All right, there we go. First thing I noticed back here, these are new brake hoses. These rear brake hoses have been changed, but not the fronts. That's interesting. So we don't need new rear brake hoses, but we do need the front ones. Again, that's the original caliper. We want to go ahead and change that caliper. I can see these are the original SLS suspension accumulators. We're going to go ahead and change these accumulators. That gives you the soft hydraulic suspension ride. Those connect to your hydraulic struts here. And I do see I want to change these sway bar end links. Yeah, these are little, see they're loose back here. There's a little boot that, yep, see it just, I can like pick the boot off because it's rotten. There we go. And these will eventually break. They're just little plastic sway bar end links. So I definitely want to change those. See the one over here? Yeah, see that's just kind of crusty looking. It's definitely time to change those. So we'll definitely order a set of those. These things are cheap, guys, and really easy to change. So these axle boots, I mean, they don't look terrible. I do see a little cracking. There you go. Little bit. I mean, they probably have a good bit of life left in them, but I'm just kind of OCD. When I see these little cracks starting to form, I'm going to go ahead and replace these. I'll have these rebuilt by CV Source, and really beautiful back here. All the original paint, and looks like maybe that was some Cosmoline wax that got sprayed on here. Yeah, you can see the Cosmoline wax is sprayed all over the self-leveling valve. See that like goopy, that golden colored wax that protected things from rust. I'll go ahead and rebuild a leveling valve, and we'll open it up, replace all the seals, and then put it back together. And that way that'll be good for a long time. The leveling rod, yeah, that's the original leveling rod. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that. The exhaust back here is just beautiful. Now Mercedes, I always talk about the exhaust. Mercedes used like, you know, a cold rolled steel exhaust up there. So you can see a little bit of surface rust appears on them. And then back here, they went to like a stainless or a galvanized pipe in the back. So I always thought that was interesting. This muffler, yeah, I think this muffler was already replaced. That's beautiful condition. So someone might have changed this muffler. Anyway, it's excellent condition. And I'm just looking up here in the, wow, this is fantastic. This, look how clean it is under here, especially back up here. You can see there's that cosmoline wax that the factory would spray dripping out down there. Yeah, and these are, you know, common rust area you see under here. There's the original undercoating that, you know, Mercedes would goop on here. It looks like somebody, maybe from the factory, wrote a B initial in it. Look at that. Yeah, I think that's what happened there. But that's original. That would be from 1985. Maybe that was the guy's name that did that job. That's funny. Yeah, you can see it's all over here. All the original undercoating in beautiful condition. No rust at all. Yeah, even the like these bolts back here. See the zinc plating is still on them. It's not all crusty. This is a really nice example of a really well maintained original Survivor car. And let's go ahead and pop off the wheels, and I want to take a look at the rotors and bearings and see how all that stuff looks. We'll go ahead and start up here on the front. And by the way, also, I'm up here at the front again. I want to go ahead and replace these. These are the flexible transmission cooler hoses. That's just an easy item to replace, and those are the originals. So I'll replace those. Yeah, that's the original AC accumulator. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry, not the accumulator, the receiver dryer. So I'm going to go ahead, change that. We're going to redo the AC system. So yeah, anyway, let's pop off these wheels and tires, take a look at the brakes and bearings. Okay, interesting. These rotors are brand new. See that silver paint right there? That is, the entire rotor is painted in that. It's like a protective anti-rust coating they put on these when they ship from the factory, and it's still on here. That usually wears off in a few hundred miles. So these are like literally brand new rotors. Yeah, these have probably only been on here. You know what? The seller probably replaced these when he was getting ready to sell the car. So yeah, that's a brand new rotor. And also this dust cap. So the original ones from Mercedes are black. And when you buy the replacement kits, they come in this unfinished, you know, silver, or just, you know, I guess that's a stainless steel. I don't know, galvanized steel. And so I need to pop off that cap to see what the condition of the bearings are. Of course, we're replacing the original rotor. And yeah, I can see, I'm pretty sure that's an original brake hose. Yeah, we're going to replace that. All right, anyway, let me go inspect the rear real quick and see if they've done the rotors on the rear. All right, let's go ahead and inspect the rear back. Yep, they sure have. That is a new rear rotor. This even has more of the. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at. You see that's the silver paint or like protective coating they would ship with from the factory. See how it's still on here? It's even on the edge right here. These are brand new. These probably have, you know, I don't know, 100 miles on them, because that stuff usually wears off really quick. So those are new rotors. We don't need new rear rotors or front rotors. Again, yeah, that's the original caliper. And yeah, these brake hoses have been changed back here. A little dirt back here. Anyway, yeah, there's still the factory original paint on the backing plate. Okay, so new calipers, but we actually don't need rotors on the front or rear. Okay, so I've got a general idea of what I want to do under the car. Made a mental parts list of all the parts I want to order. Let's go ahead and lower it down and take a look in the engine compartment and see what I want to do there. So I've already done a hood pad. I did that when it was over at Scott's being detailed, and that's the correct hood pad for the California model, where the air filter housing is relocated here and the turbo is raised up right there. So this was an 85 model with a trap oxidizer. And of course, everyone knows that was a recall item by Mercedes. So we'll go ahead and remove the trap oxidizer. That'll just make it like all the other, 49 state federal cars. And well, look, that turbo doesn't even have any rust on it. That's pretty wild. I can see the zinc plating. I mean, it's still kind of hanging in here, but I want to go ahead and replace, send these all off to be re-zinc plated. You can see it's kind of faded and dirty over here, these lines and on the cruise control. So I want to replate all that. I also want to change out these injector return lines. These are the cloth braided lines that return any unburnt diesel goes back and flows back to the tank here. I see it still has the original, that's the original primer pump. I like to replace those with yeah, I got one right down here. There's the improved Bosch primer pump right there. So we're gonna always throw one of those on here. Oh man, I just dropped all those in oil. I'll clean that up in a minute. Also, I like to look at all the, wow, these are actually really good. The rubber fittings. If I see any cracking or deterioration in the vacuum lines, I like to replace those. I can see also, we might have a leak from one of those rear calipers. Look, I see there's actually brake fluid here, and that front reservoir, it looks like it's empty. So I bet you we have a leak in one of those 40-year-old calipers back there. Interesting. It might have leaked out when I was driving it back from the shop. Guys, that's why I replace calipers, just for that reason right there. Let's see. I see the AC's already been converted to R134. So really, we want to do a lot of cleanup here and just re-zinc plate everything, make it beautiful again. I'm going to respray the original Cosmoline wax in the engine compartment where Mercedes would put it. I do see a little surface rust has appeared right here on the air filter housing lid. So, and then right here on the side. So I want to remove that and sand that down, remove that, and then respray that in the original semi-gloss black. Yeah, these headlight bezels up here, those are the originals, and they appear to be crack-free. That is amazing. You know how rare it is that I actually see original crack-free headlight bezels? Let's see if this radiator... Oh, look at that. They already replaced the radiator. There you go. That's made... these are made in Sweden. Nissan's. That's a good brand. That's awesome. It has a new radiator in here. God, they were really maintaining this vehicle well. That's nice to see. So, yeah, anyway, that's check this out. This is pretty cool. So these are often always gone. See, this one is barely still hanging in there. It's kind of translucent now. But that's the original quality control sticker. See, that's the original Mercedes glass. And it looks like Phoenix Motor Co. Now, this was a California car, so maybe they had a place in Phoenix. I don't know, preferred customer. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, this is this gasket around the windshield too. This is beautiful condition. Look at this. Look at this gasket. It is just awesome condition. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a garage kept vehicle. Yeah, this thing has been real. This is a really well maintained Survivor. I mean, you can drive this car as is right now, but I just want to, take it to the next level. Do all those suspension bushings, the brakes, zinc plate the engine, redo the rear axles, just kind of take it to that next level. But a cool thing about this car, I found out that it was owned, I think the gentleman's name was Gary, and what was the city? Was it Eureka? He owned the Mercedes dealership. I think it was Eureka, California. But he owned the Mercedes dealership, and this was his wagon. So that would explain kind of the maintenance, because he had access to the techs, whenever he wanted. And of course, I bought it from an enthusiast that actually purchased it from him. And that would also explain all those stack of service records in the glove box, because I guess he was servicing it there at his dealership and just stuck all the records in the glove box. All right, let's go in the car here. And a couple of things with the vacuum system on this car I've noticed. So when you turn on the AC, this center vent is supposed to open, and when you turn on the heat, it's supposed to close. And this center vent pod needs to be replaced, and it's located right there. This is very, very common on these cars, and the reason is because most people don't want to pull out the dash. And guys, it's not that difficult. We pull these dashes all the time. We just have to pop off these pillars right here, and then pop off the steering wheel and a couple of mounting brackets under here, and this thing comes right out. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that. Yeah, see, there's some all the license plate. Now I've got the rear. These are the rear emblems I need to put back on the back of the car from when it was being detailed. We take those off to buff and polish everything back there. But this window switch, see, it's worn here. I want to replace that switch. It does have the original Becker radio. And also, I think the door locks. Let's see if I lock this one. Yeah, see, that rear one didn't lock. So I want to buy all brand new vacuum actuators and, take off all the door panels and put all brand new vacuum actuators in here. Yeah, I think those actuators are just done for. So I want to put all new stuff in there, including the new master vacuum switch over here on the driver's door. And this is all common stuff you do on these cars. Another thing that I often see are, oh, actually this one's in decent shape. Okay, I see these lids, they will crack, but this one's not cracked, but I do see, yeah, there we go. It needs a new lid. This little peg has broken off right here. Yeah, so I've got another cover on the bench. We're gonna rebuild this visor with a new cover. Easy to do. Let me check out this one. Wow, that one survived. You never see these things. Oh, no, it didn't. There we go. Same thing. It's got the little peg over here that popped off. So I've got some new door covers we're going to put on there. Let's see up here. That's beautiful. Anyway, pretty normal stuff, guys. And you're going to see videos of me doing all this. We're going to take the dash out and take the door panels off, and we'll do all that stuff. You guys will get to watch as I go through the process. But this is the kind of wagon you want to find, because all the stuff I'm showing you guys in this video, you have to do this on just about every single one of them. But what you look for, the interior is beautiful. The paint is amazing. Great service records. I can see they've already done a lot of work on it. And this is the condition you want to find them in. And then, do some minor refurbishment work, and they just turn out amazing. Well, I say minor, but I mean, I've been doing this for close to 15 years, so it's not really minor, but to me it's minor because I've done it so much. If it's the first time you've done this stuff, it's a little overwhelming, but all the resources, you have my videos, and the internet is just a great resource that shows you how to do all the things that I'm covering. Like I said, the first time you're going to be completely overwhelmed, but once you've done it, I've probably done this 50 times on these cars. You can kind of do it with your eyes closed. So let me show you back here, guys, this rear hatch. So these struts have already been changed because this rear hatch, like, it is super strong. It like really, really opens up well. Those struts, I'm 100% sure. Yeah, you can see those have been changed back in there. Also, this is one thing I want to point out as I'm inspecting back here. Often on wagons, this strip right here is always deteriorated and broken, and this one is in perfect condition. This one, what often happens, the lip of it will get caught on the gasket here, and it'll just crack it right here, and they all wrinkle, and that's beautiful condition. You see it has shrunk just a little bit, which is normal. You can see it shrunk, and there's a little of the glue that used to be underneath here. But finding them in that condition right there is very, very difficult. And also, the carpet back here is just beautiful to find in this condition. But another thing I wanted to point out, up here, this light, it still correctly works. And I see this is broken on like 90% of all the wagons I see. All right, now we turn that the other way. In here and press the rear light switch. Where is it? There it is. Nice. These, there we go. See how it turned on there? And that, for some reason, these always fail, and it's still in beautiful working condition on this car. Let's see. Nice. Let me. Okay, yes, it correctly turned off. But anyway, I just wanted to point out just how beautiful it is back here. Even this little strap is still intact. Those straps always break. And the headliner is just beautiful. Okay, guys, I just came back in the house for a second because I want to show you some items that I ordered for this wagon. Now, if you rewind in the video a little bit, you'll notice on the back seats, when I was looking in the cargo area, the little metal brackets are on the back seats, and that's because this car originally came with the rear cargo cover, and I call it the dog net. And but it was missing from the car when I got it. So I called around some people, and there was a guy in UK that had the exact correct color to match the interior, and it's in mint condition, including the little clips that attach it to the rear hatch. And guys, you go try to find one of these, and you'll be shocked at how much they cost. But I wanted to pull out all the stops on this wagon because it's very nice, and this would have originally come in the car. So I did find an original mint condition one to put back in the car. And what I also ordered, Blue Nelson hooked me up with these. These are original Mercedes crossbars. Now, what's unique about these is these little rubber grommets, these rubber little isolators are on here. Those are often rotted and always gone on the cars, but Blue hooked me up with a set that still has them. But what these were for is when you're driving down the highway, these break up the wind noise. So when you have your crossbars on your roof, you don't get the whistling sound, for example, that you would see. These don't have them. And so normally to get rid of that whistling sound, you have to move the crossbars all the way to the back of the roof racks. But with these rubber isolators, you don't have to. So we're putting in the original Mercedes cargo net and the crossbars. But anyway, guys, that's the initial inspection video. I've got a good idea of all the stuff I want to do on it. Now, I will probably, discover more things as I go along. We're just talking about the stuff under the car and in the engine. I still have to go through the interior of the car, the windows, the doors, the vacuum flaps, the actuators, the radio, the antenna, all that stuff. So this is just my initial inspection. I'm going to go ahead and order those parts. And in the next video, you're going to see, I'm going to start doing disassembly of all the suspension and start replacing those items and doing the brakes. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Take care.